Hello and welcome to episode 5. Thank you first of all to all the new subscribers, and if you're watching this for the first time, welcome. I checked just before I started recording and I had 39 subscribers, which I have to tell you is just, well, my ghast has been flabbered, because I thought that possibly my husband, my children, my crafty friends might watch this just to humour me. So to have so many of you watching is really, well, I'm just blown away. So first of all, thank you very much. And I am thinking of a giveaway. I'm thinking we might even do one at 50 subscribers, which is a bit early. I know most people wait till they've got 100. But why not? There's no rules. We'll do what we like. Okay, so that out the way, I'm sure you are all dying to know, did I do as I said I was going to? Have I eaten my metaphorical vegetables? Or have I just cast everything on in a manic frenzy of casting on of new wonderful things? Well, I've been very good indeed. I'll start with the failure first of all. My blue and white stripy socks. I started to knit the second one and I got as far as the heel, and I thought, I really don't like the afterthought heel. I don't think it's going to work. So I tried a heel flap and gusset and I didn't like that either. So I pulled that down, knitted a bit more foot, and then tried a German short row heel and I didn't like that one either. So for the first time ever, I've pulled down the whole sock and I'm just done with it. And part of the reason I'm done with it is, and I don't expect you can see this, but here I've done 3 rows instead of 2. And I did the second sock to match because these things bother me. Once I see something like that, and I can normally see it straight away, I think the only reason I didn't was that I knit these sitting out in the garden and it was bright sunshine and I had some sunglasses on. And the contrast between the blue and the cream wasn't great enough that I noticed. So that was driving me absolutely mad. I did, when I knit the second sock, put the mistake in deliberately, but it was too late. I'd seen it and I just didn't like them anymore. So as I say, for the first time ever, I pulled it down and I'm done with it. And I would have pulled this one down as well, but I was all super efficient and I've sewn in all the ends. So now I've got to find the ends and make pulling it down even harder than it was to begin with. So that fed up with that now. However, the other socks I was making, socks for my husband, I've done considerably better with. I have just got, I think it's 4 rows to do before I'm ready to start the cuff. And you will notice, if I hold them up properly, that these match exactly. And they have to match exactly. I've only ever made 1 pair that don't, and they were for my son. And because he's got such big feet, I was worried I was running out of yarn because I did a fleecle heel on his. And so I didn't wind on the balls that I could make the second sock match. And it bothers me every time I see them drying on the rack that they don't match. He doesn't care, but it really, really annoys me. And they're marked up, ready to have their afterthought heels in, because they fit my husband really well. So they will definitely be finished, probably by this evening actually, but certainly by next week. While we're on the subject of socks, I was chatting with one of the new subscribers, and she mentioned that she'd made 3 pairs of socks. She's had a bit of a break from knitting, she's come back to it, and she'd got enough yarn to make another 10 pairs. And that got me thinking, so I had a count up, I had a look to see how many balls of sock yarn I've got. Commercial sock yarn only, I've not counted all my precious hand dyed, just the commercial sock yarn. I've got 46 balls of sock yarn. And as I can generally get, if I'm knitting them for myself and I use a contrasting toe, heel and cuff, 2 pairs out of a ball, that's around 92 pairs of socks. And I was foolish enough to confess that to my husband, who was a little bit horrified, and said, but you know, how often do you throw out a pair of socks? And I kind of clutched my pearls and went, never. So he's kind of the opinion that I'm going to have enough socks to last me the rest of my life and beyond. Especially as I still keep buying yarn. I have not finished. But I am trying to restrain myself. That said, I have cast on one new thing. It is off my not very short list. But I opened, if you've seen the relevant episode, I have a year-long advent that I bought from Anjknits yarn on Etsy, and it's a thing of yarn every month. And so May was this. It's coming out a little bit paler than it is in real life there, but I couldn't help myself. I wound up the ball, I opened it, I wound it, and I cast it straight on. So I have started the Rhinebeck is Calling socks by Crazy Sock Lady, and I am knitting them as the pattern decrees, cuff down, which is not my usual MO. And let me tell you, it says to use, I can't remember, I haven't got the pattern here, a twisted German cast on or something, which I wasn't familiar with. So I looked up a YouTube tutorial and I put it on the television. I cast it to the television so you know, the lady's hands were like this big, and I watched it through and I watched it through again, and I tried to do it along with her, and there was so much swearing that my husband kept coming in from the kitchen. He'd taken over cooking dinner and going, are you all right? But then he stood in front of the television while he was checking to see that I was all right. So I was like, yes, I'm fine. I just tried to do something new. Anyway, I gave up on that because I was getting very angry with myself. And so I scoured YouTube for nice stretchy cuff cast-ons, because I have got, as I've mentioned before, chunky little legs and I need a nice stretchy cast-on. And I found this one, and I've never seen anything like it before, and it doesn't seem to have a name. I will try and put it in, I don't think I can put it in the description. I will try and put it in the comments perhaps, because I might have to do it on my laptop or get someone to help me with it later. I am, as I've mentioned before, a bit of a technical idiot. But anyway, it is extremely stretchy, but it should not look like this. You see that loopiness? I don't know how to get it so you can see it the best. There we go. It shouldn't look like that, but it does, all the way round. I don't really mind, so long as I can get the other one to look the same. Because, as I have mentioned previously, with the blue stripy socks and my husband's socks, they have to match. If they don't match, I feel that I can feel it. I know I'm weird. I've never denied it. So we shall see. That remains to be seen. So that is the first item off my not very short list, cast on. And I'm quite enjoying the pattern. It's a 4-row repeat, and it seems to go quite quickly because you just want to finish each little repeat, so you do the 4 rows, so that's good. So that's the only new thing I've actually cast on. Oh no, I'll tell you that in a minute. Okay. My jumper. I was so pleased with this when I started it, and I'm beginning to hate it now. It's going to be lovely when it's finished. If it's ever finished. It feels like Hercules in the stables, this jumper. Just keep going and going. Right, last time you saw it, I was there. Where are we? There. So I've finished the body, done the ribbing. I've also done the neckline. And I'm now onto the sleeve. And I can see here, I thought about this before. I knew the stripe was going to be different because obviously the sleeves are narrower, so the stripe was going to be wider. And I'd already thought about that, and I'd thought about the fact that I needed to find the right bit of the yarn to join on, and you can see where it joins on. And I should have wound down to here so that it joined on with the green. But when I did it, I'd forgotten that. And I don't know if I can live with it. And I'm kind of 2/3 of the way down the sleeve now. So that's something of a dilemma. I don't know what to do. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to pull it back. Because looking at it in real life, as it were, I can see it and it bothers me. And I'm looking at it as if I were wearing it. And I'm thinking, am I actually going to see that? Am I going to see the... probably not. But now I see it on the camera, I don't know if I can live with it. We'll have to see. The trouble is, I must not cast on a new jumper until I've finished this one, because I won't finish this one if I do. I know myself well enough to know that I will fall madly in love with my new project and this one will get abandoned. And as it's on rather dodgy ground as it is, I can't risk doing that. So I'm going to have to pull it down, aren't I? Pants. Never mind. Worst things happen at sea. It is what it is. I'll have to learn to live with it. So, the other thing that I'm all ready to cast on, and I want to finish my husband's socks first, so I just haven't got a million things on the needles all at once. This is my absolutely beautiful peony from Ducky Darlings, and it is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and I just love it. I love the colours in it. I think it suits me really nicely. So it's going to be the One and Done shawl by Casapinka. And I might even enter that in, excuse me, I inhaled some yarn in Crafthouse Magic's Spring Shawl Along. I've done one. I don't know if you can do two. Maybe. Choking myself now. Hang on. Sorry about that. I had to go and get some water because I've got quite a sore throat, and then there was a tickle in it and I had to get a drink. And I don't like to have a drink with me because I can't stand the sound of people swallowing. So I don't want to risk having some drink and then all of you going, oh God, and not watching anymore because I swallowed. Anyway, yes. So peony yarn, I think that's going to knit up quite quickly because I love the yarn and it's quite a quick pattern. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but I keep cutting off the top of my head. I've got to like sit back. Okay. I missed off the list of things that I showed you. I missed one off last week because I'd forgotten I'd already put it in a bag with the yarn all ready to go. So this is also on my not very short list. It's Breezeway by Fogbound Knits. And essentially it's just a knitted tee. I've been going to have a go at the V-back tee, which everybody's knitting anyway. But again, it's this OCD thing of mine. You've probably seen it because, as I say, everyone's knitting it. But the way it's constructed, the V side, the yarns go down in a V as well. So you've got the V at the top and that's followed all the way down by your different yarns. And I just don't know if I can live with that, because I won't want to wear the V at the back. I'll want to wear it at the front. And then I'll see all the... And I don't think I can do it. I might be able to make it all in one yarn. But the yarn that I've chosen there is 3 different colours. I've shown it to you before. It's anjknits yarn again, and it is in, can you see it without me taking it all out? Let me see. Those 3. So they all tone quite nicely together and smoothly transition from one to the other, I hope. But yeah, I don't think I can cope with the V-back tee. If you can hear a tinkling sound in the background, that's Rocket, who's one of our cats. He's giving me love eyes from the doorway. He's had to be given a bell because he keeps catching birds, and I'm sorry to report that it hasn't worked because he had another one last night, and so he's rather in disgrace at the moment, and he got a jar of water thrown at him. So he's being a bit ingratiating at the moment. And also he probably wants me to move so he can sit here in the sunshine, because I've turned the blind but the sun is streaming in, and they like to sit here and bask. He's just going to have to wait. His sister's under the chair. Poppy's under the chair. The house is run by cats. Anyway, the thing I was going to tell you about, linked to the Crazy Sock Lady, Ryan Becky's Calling Socks. Firstly, if I tell you that I'm going to knit a cuff down sock again, somebody slap me. And if I tell you that not only am I going to knit a cuff down sock, but I'm going to use some of these that I've never used before, then like proper slap me, because I'm sure it didn't really make any difference, but it just felt more fiddly. It can't have helped, let's put it that way. I bought these. I did a little bit of online shopping and I got these from Crafthouse Magic. My mind went blank then. Crafthouse Magic. Because I want to try them, because I'm hoping to do summer sock camp, the Crazy Sock Lady, and I thought I might give them a go. Well, I didn't get on very well with them, but I was having some trauma with the casting on the cuff down anyway, so I don't know that we can entirely blame the higher flyers. So I'm going to give them another try with an ordinary vanilla toe-up sock that I'm used to. So I'm not trying to do 2 new things at once, which is way too much for my ageing brain. But that wasn't all I bought from her. Though the rest of what I bought was more sewing. Well, it is sewing, but it's kind of knitting related. I got some fabric. I want to make myself a couple more knitting bags, because I mean everybody needs like 50 million knitting bags, don't they? But I like to colour coordinate, and sometimes you need a bigger bag and sometimes you need a smaller bag. They'll all get used. So I bought this, which I thought was just adorable. Love the sheep, and I've got a load of little sheep stitch markers that will probably go with it. And then this one that I had to have, because obviously cats and knitting, cats in glasses and knitting. Need I say more? And the thing with Ellie at Crafthouse Magic is you always get a thank you card, and she always sends you, I call it a little taster, just a little tiny bit of her yarn. This is her Morning Has Broken colourway, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, just 5 grams of it. And that will end up in my scrappy blanket. Sorry, I should cover up my face so it focuses. That'll end up in my scrappy blanket, I expect. It's very pretty. And I also bought online this little digital scale, because I've been, my leftover sock yarn, I've been dividing so that I've got 2 balls. So if I make another sock with it, I know how much yarn I've got to use. I'm not explaining this very well, but you get what I mean. So I bought this little scale. It's only about £4 or £5 on eBay, and it came, and I showed it to my husband, and he went, "Don't take it out with you." And I was a bit like, "Why would I?" And he went, "Haha, no, don't take it out with you. People will think you're a drug dealer." And it had never ever even occurred to me. I was a bit horrified that might be what it was for, because it weighs things from 1 gram up to 200 grams. And I had just got fed up of keep getting the kitchen scales, and then every time they needed in the kitchen, having to then trudge back upstairs up here to get them to take them back down. So I was a little bit, bearing in mind, I've never even smoked a cigarette. I know I'm a biker and I've been involved in, you know, rallies and stuff, but I've never even smoked a cigarette, an ordinary one from a shop. Never. I don't even like being drunk. I don't like being out of control. Actually, yeah, I'm saying that while I sit looking at a complete wall of yarn. I'm going to move on. But that's not all the fabric that I have acquired this week. I went on Monday and had my second COVID jab. And on the way back, we stopped off in Hobbycraft. And we saw this, which is more pussycat fabric. And my husband said, would you like it? And I said, oh no, I've just bought a load of fabric. And I have to confess as well that I've got a black bin bag full of fabric that's odds and ends and offcuts and, you know, old clothes that I've looked at and thought, well, I don't really like to wear it anymore, but I could use the fabric for something. And odds and ends of duvet covers and sheets, because last year I got involved in making scrubs for the NHS, and to begin with we had no fabric, so we were all collecting duvets and sheets and things from friends and using those. And honestly, it sounds rubbish, but we made some really spectacular ones. My husband did all the pattern cutting for me and he really enjoyed it, and we made a couple of children's ones. One was a Forever Friends and the other one was, I think it was Disney Princesses, but they were really good because of the way he cut them. They were really, really good. So I've got lots of little bits that were too small to make any more scrubs with. I'm gonna have to, hang on, I'm trying to tip you back a little bit. So, I don't know if you're going to stay there. You might move again. So I'm not exactly short of fabric, let's put it that way. And the amount of knitting projects that I've got on my not very short list, and to be fair, the amount of sewing I want to do, there just aren't enough hours in the day. Not at all. So, having discovered I've now got to pull down that sleeve, I suppose I'd better go and do that. Can't say I'm looking forward to it very much. Not very happy about it at all, truth be told. But better to do it now than waste the whole time that I've spent knitting the jumper, because I have tried it on before I started doing the sleeves. I thought I'll try it on and see, and it fit really well. So I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it, aren't I? Never mind. Never mind. So I'm going to go and do that then. And I'll see you all next week. With a bit of luck, with at least one finished sleeve. Who knows? Bearing in mind how much I got done, I might have finished both sleeves and been able to cast on my new jumper. That would be excellent. That would be very good news. So, to sum up, I ate my veg. I don't want to go because I don't want to go and pull down that sleeve. Can you tell? Never mind. It's got to be done. So I'm going to go and do it. And thank you for joining me. If you're new and you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. I think we will do a little giveaway when we get to 50. What the heck? Let's write our own rules. So if you know anyone who you think might be interested, share with them, get them to subscribe, and yeah, we'll do a little giveaway. Why not? Right then, I'm off to pull down a sleeve, and I'll see you all next week. All things being equal,